Full Body Stretch Yoga Flow class. Hi guys, today we're going to start down on our mat. Sit up nice and tall and then close your eyes and focus on your breath. We're going to be here for a little while. Try to sit up evenly down through your sit bones. Knit your lower ribs in and take some deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Make sure when you exhale that you're letting all of the air out of your lungs before you inhale. Keep going with this for a few more breaths, really focusing on your inhaling and exhaling. Open up your eyes. You're going to bring your right hand down to the mat. You can bring your right hand to the mat, or you can come all the way down to your elbow and reach up and over with your left hand for a side stretch. You should really feel this down all the way down to your hip. So go to where you're comfortable. Place your hand to the back of your head and look up to the ceiling, opening through your chest. Exhale as you bring your elbow down to your knee. Inhale, send your elbow back up, opening through your chest. And exhale as you bring your elbow to knee. Inhale as you go up. Exhale as you come down. Come up to center and we'll go to the other side. So left hand comes down to the mat as we reach up with our right arm as we come into a side stretch. You can feel this all the way down through your side body. Try to ground down evenly through your sit bones. Place your hand behind your head. As you gaze up, open through your chest. And exhale as you bring your elbow down to your knee. Inhale as you send your elbow up, open through your chest. And exhale as the elbow comes to knee. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Come up to tabletop pose on your mat. Knees are hip width distance apart, directly under your hips, and your hands are directly under your shoulders. Kick your right leg straight back and then pull your right knee to your right elbow. Kick your right leg straight back and bring it over to the left as you gaze back to your foot. Inhale, leg goes out straight behind you. Exhale as you pull your knee into elbow. Inhale as you send your leg out, and exhale as you send it over to the left and gaze over. Inhale, send your leg out. Exhale to the knee. Inhale, straighten your leg, and exhale as you send it over to the left. Bring it back to center and set your knee back down on the mat as we go to the other side. Left leg kicks straight back behind you. Make sure that your shoulders are pushed back and away from your ears. Exhale as you touch your knee to elbow. Inhale, send your leg straight back, and exhale as you send that leg over to the right side of your mat. Inhale, straight back. Exhale to elbow. Inhale, straight back. Exhale to the right side of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale to elbow. Inhale up. Exhale to the right side of your mat. Inhale, come back to center and place your leg down on the mat. Curl your toes under on the mat and then float your knees up just a little bit off the mat. So you're still in a tabletop position with your knees floating, and then push your torso towards your thighs, and then you can straighten up your legs as we come into down dog. From down dog, we're going to come into a plank. So you shouldn't have to adjust much here. If you do, just find what's comfortable for you. You should be able to go from a plank and then push down into a down dog. So come to plank and then push up into a down dog. Bend your knees and float them on top of the mat as you push back, and then legs go straight. Come up to plank and then down dog. Float your knees above the mat as you push your torso back toward your thighs. Straighten up your legs to go into down dog. Come up to plank and push back into down dog. Float your knees. Push your torso back toward your thighs. Come up to plank. Push down into a down dog. Roll your feet so that your toes are pointing towards the left side of your mat as you gaze under that arm. Come back to center and roll your feet over to the right side of your mat as your toes point to the right, and gaze under your right arm. Push back up into a down dog. You're going to come to a plank position as you lower down through chaturanga all the way down to your mat. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Elbows are going to go up behind you as you bring your chin down to the mat. Exhale as you begin to raise, keeping your elbows up. This will squeeze your scapula together, your upper back, and then lower your elbows as you push up further into a cobra pose. Make sure that your pelvis is tilting into the mat and the tops of your feet are pushing down into the mat. Lower yourself back down. Elbows are up as we push our scapula together. Come up slowly, elbows still bent. And then elbows go down as we continue to push up into a cobra pose. Lower back down. Left cheek is going to come to the mat, and you can rest your arms beside you on the mat. Make any adjustments that you need to. You can shake out your hips a little bit here if that's comfortable for you. Clasp your hands behind your back. Shoulder blades come together as you push up, and stretch your arms back behind you. Your hands back down to the mat directly under your armpits, and then push yourself up into a high cobra pose. Come up to tabletop and push back to a child's pose. Take a few deep breaths in this pose. Come back up to a tabletop pose. Curl your toes under as you push your hips up into down dog. Gaze between your hands as you hop or step up between your hands. Inhale with a flat back, and exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, come up with a flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, bend into your knees as your hands reach up above your head. Press your palms together and bring them down through heart center. We will take another flow, so inhale, your arms go up. Exhale as you hinge from your hips down into a forward fold. Inhale, hands comes to shin as your back straightens. Push your hands down to the mat, step or hop back into plank. Exhale down through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog and exhale to down dog. Keep a slight bend in your knees so that you can send your hips up high and push your torso towards your thighs. You can also begin to let your heels sink down to the mat a little bit deeper. Gaze up in between your hands as you step or hop up in between your hands. Inhale with a flat back. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, arms come up above your head. Press your palms together as they come down through heart center. Inhale as your arms go up overhead. Press your palms together as you come down into a forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale as you bring your hands down, step back to plank. Exhale down through chaturanga. Inhale through up dog. And exhale through down dog. You can pedal out your legs here if that's comfortable for you. Push your torso towards your thighs as we deepen our stretch in our down dog. You can begin to let the heels come a little bit closer to the mat. Send your gaze up as you step or hop up in between your hands. Inhale with a flat back and exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, arms go up overhead as your palms come down through heart center. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale as you come into a chair pose. You can send your arms up or in front of you at prayer. Gaze down, you should be able to see your toes. So really sit back into those hips. Come down a little further and then exhale as you go down into a forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Bring your hands down to the mat as you step your right foot back. Come into a low lunge, engage your core and press yourself up as you come into a crescent lunge. Keep your tummy tight, engage your core. Take a couple of deep breaths in this pose. Pivot your right foot to the long edge of your mat as your arms come parallel into a warrior two. Gaze over that left hand as you bend into your left knee. Squeeze that left glute. Reverse warrior, right hand comes down to right calf as our left arm goes up to a side bend. Straighten your leg, your left leg with a slight bend as we come into a triangle pose. So left arm will come down to the mat as we reach up, open our chest, and gaze up to the ceiling. Bend into your left knee, engage through your core as you send yourself back up into a warrior two. Straighten your left leg and then peel your toes up. Reach up overhead as you grab your left wrist and bend over to the right. Bend into your left knee as you bring your left elbow to your thigh. Reach your right arm up and bicep comes along your ear as you gaze up to the sky. Hold your extended side angle for a couple of breaths here. Roll your right hand down to the mat and then shift your toes towards the left side of your mat as you reach your left arm up. Bring your left hand back down to the mat. Feet come forward as we step our right foot up to our left foot. Inhale with a flat back and exhale to forward fold. Inhale as we send our arms up high overhead. Palms press together and come down to heart center as we exhale. Find your breath right here. You can close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths to come back to your own rhythm. Bring your arms up overhead as you inhale. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale with a flat back. Hands come down to the mat, and we're going to step our left leg back nice and far as we come into our low lunge. Get your feet set so you're nice and steady. Engage through your core as you push yourself up, and make sure that your hips are pointing towards the front of your mat so that they're square to the front. Arms go up high as we sink into our crescent lunge. Shoulders back and away from the ears. Pivot your left foot to the long edge of your mat as you come into Warrior Two. Bend into that right leg as you gaze over your right hand. Reverse Warrior. Left hand comes to left calf as we side bend over to the left. Come back up, straighten that front leg. We're coming into triangle pose, so tilt forward with your arms parallel to the mat. Right arm comes down to the mat as our left arm goes up. And then open up through that chest. So you can pretend there's a wall that you're leaning on with your left arm and really open up and gaze up to the sky. Come back up to center as you bend into your right knee into a Warrior Two. Arms are parallel to the mat. And then peel your toes off the mat as you reach your right hand up and over for a side bend. Bend into your right knee as we come down to our extended side angle. Right elbow to right thigh as our left arm goes up. And our bicep is along the ear as we gaze up to the sky. Cartwheel your hands back down to the mat into our low lunge, and then rotate your feet towards the right side of your mat. Right arm is up as we gaze up to the sky. Bring your right hand back down to the mat as we step our left leg back up to meet our right leg. Inhale with a flat back and exhale to forward fold. Inhale, send your arms up overhead as you stand up, palms pressed together and down through heart center. Soften your right knee as you bring your left leg up into a 90-degree angle. Begin to kick your foot back, kick into your heel and tip forward as your heel goes back into a Warrior Three. Palms compress together to help stable your balance, and your supporting leg is slightly bent. Bend into your right knee as we step way back with our left foot. Come into a crescent lunge. Arms go up as we sink down into our lunge. You can gaze up to the ceiling. Bring your hands down to the mat and then push back with your right foot going high into a three-legged dog. Cross your right ankle behind your left ankle, come into a plank. So you go down through chaturanga, uncross your ankles as you go into an up dog, and exhale as you go down into a down dog. Do what feels comfortable in this pose. You can pedal out your feet, push your torso into your thighs, bend into your knees and releasing those hips up high as you push your torso into your knees, and you can let your heels drop down to the mat a little bit more. Send your right leg back up into a three-legged dog, and then pull your right knee to your right wrist as we come into a pigeon pose. Bring your left leg flat back on the mat and try to get your right foot as parallel as you can to the top of your mat. Bring your arms out in front of you, and you can begin to sway side to side as you come down slowly to your forearms. You can bring your head down to a block if you have one, or you can stack your fists on top of each other so your forehead can rest right on top of your fists. We are going to be here for about 5 breaths, so really try to focus on that breathing so that you can relax your muscles into this pose. If your mind has started wandering, bring it back to your present moment and think about how your body's feeling in this pose. Take some deep breaths. Every time you exhale, sink a little bit deeper into the pose. Begin to push yourself back up. Curl your back toes under as you push your right foot back up into a three-legged down dog. Bend that knee and open up the hip. You can do a couple hip circles here if that feels good to you. Bring your right foot up to your chest and then send it to the left side of your mat. As we come into a fallen triangle pose, reach that left hand up and then sit flat on your bottom. Your legs are going to come into a V shape. Flex your feet here, sit up nice and tall as you hinge forward from your hips. You can come down to your forearms, or you can stack your fists again to bring your forehead to rest. Push yourself back up to seated. Bring the right sole of your foot to your left thigh. Lengthen as you inhale and exhale as you fold forward. You can catch a hold of your foot, your ankle, or your shin. You can bring a block to place under your head if that's comfortable, or you can place your hands underneath your forehead. As time passes, you can probably get a little bit deeper into your forward fold. Walk your hands back up and then bring your left sole of your foot to meet the right sole of your foot as we come into a bound angle. Sit up nice and tall and then twist to your right. Right hand goes behind as you lengthen and exhale to twist a little deeper. Come back to the center. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale as you twist over to the left. Inhale back to center. Come down to your stomach on the mat. Bend your legs as you catch a hold of your feet or ankles. Inhale and then exhale as you kick into your hands as you lift yourself up. Release back down to the mat. Push yourself back up to tabletop as you curl your toes under, send your hips up high into down dog. Send your left leg up high in three-legged dog, and then pull your left knee in by your left wrist as you come into a pigeon pose. Get situated here where you're comfortable. Try to bring that left leg as parallel as you can to the front edge of your mat. And then begin to slowly sway side to side as you walk your hands out in front of you down to your forearms. Do this very slowly. We give our hip a chance to open up so we're not forcing anything in our body. You can bring your head to a block, or you can cup your fists and place your forehead on your fists. Hold and breathe here. These long holds give us a good chance to really acknowledge what's happening inside of our own bodies. This side could feel completely different from the last side, and that's completely normal. So just try to breathe through any discomfort. You should be able to take full breaths in these poses, and if you can't, that means you've gone too far. Just come up and out of that pose a little bit. Begin to walk your hands back up. Curl your right toes under as you kick your left leg back up into a three-legged down dog. You can open up that hip, bend that knee, and do a couple of hip circles to get that blood flow back to the hip. Bring your knee into your chest as you send your left leg to the right side of your mat. Open up your right arm as we come into a fallen triangle pose. Set yourself down on your mat slowly. Legs are in a V shape. Sit up nice and tall as you hinge forward. You can bring your head down to a block, or you can cup your fist and rest your forehead there if that's comfortable for you. Walk your hands back in as you push yourself up. Your left sole of your foot's going to come to your right thigh as you sit up nice and tall. Lengthen through your spine as you inhale, and exhale as you fold forward. And catch a hold of your foot, your ankle, or your thigh. You can bring your hands under your forehead as a place to rest. And as time passes, you can get deeper into your fold. So focus on lengthening through your spine as you inhale, and exhaling to relax and go deeper into this fold. Walk your hands back up as you come up to sit. Bring your feet, the soles of your feet to touch as we come into a bound angle. Your hands can wrap under your feet and then hinge forward. This will give you a nice stretch through your inner thighs. Come back up to seated and then come down on your belly on the mat. We're going to do a bow pose again, so bend your knees as you catch your feet or ankles. Exhale as you push back into your hands and lift up your chest. Squeeze those glutes to lift your legs and then release. Place your hands on the mat as you come back into a child's pose. Take a few deep inhales and exhales here. Focus on that breathing. Come back up to a seated position on your mat. Sit however you are comfortable. Hands can come palms down on the thighs or knees. Palms down is more for a grounding, or palms up is for receiving. So whatever you feel like you need today, go ahead and do. Close down your eyes and take a couple of big inhales and exhales. Make sure when you exhale, you're letting all the breath out of your lungs before you inhale. Thank you for joining my class today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.